Okay, I've decided to do it. My most wacky,
You got it.
my most
Ready to
wacky
go.
philosophies and theories
Great.
that are completely out of this world. So, one of my theories, or one of the things I try to do in my philosophies is I try to create philosophies, ways of thinking, theories to bring people together to connect every person on the planet. And the first thing I want to say is how, inspired by that incorrect saying about blood is thicker than water, but to change it into, there's nothing more important than family. Family comes first before everything. But I wanted to make it so that, blood and relations are irrelevant. And the thinking led me to think that the thing that actually connects us, every person on the planet, and makes us all family, is that we're all connected and related by water. And water is actually more prevalent in existence or on Earth than blood is. And what I created recently is that the way in which water connects us all and is actually better than blood in order to make everybody family is because of water, no matter its form, no matter what it exists in, whether it's in our bodies or whether it's in our blood, water is always neutral and water always stays the same. So not only does water connect us all together, but water is water is basically a constant, no matter what form. So I just thought about something as well that when I was thinking about that, something to add in. We're all related by water. One of the things that I say is water is the thing that divides us, and in the end, water will bring us all back together. And that doesn't mean we're going to go into the water. What I mean is that the sea separates the land and makes you think each place is different. But every place on Earth is a part of the same thing. It's the same, basically, body of land. Like if you think about it logically, all the land underneath the sea is connected. So the sea separates the land and makes you think every place is different. But it's all part of the same thing. So it doesn't matter where you come from. We're all one people. We're all one race. We're the human race. So water is the thing that divides us, quite literally, and water will be the thing that brings us all back together because water is the thing that connects every person on the planet. So that's the first thing where water connects us all, and water basically makes us all family members. Something I used to say is that all water originates from the same source, or eventually all water will revert back into itself. So even if we consume different water within different reservoirs between, say, America and Britain, for instance, like with me in Britain, we might drink from the same water. We might drink from different water, but in some way, shape, or form, all water eventually connects to itself. And I had to think about how does water connect us all, even if we have different bodies of water that we drink from. Well, you have the system that we learned in school where, what is it? The sun shines on the sea. The water evaporates because of the heat into the sky. The evaporated water hits the cold surface of the clouds, and then the clouds rain on top of the mountain, and then the water goes from the top of the mountain down to the streams and into the rivers, and then it goes back into the sea. So the water circulates. But the bit that I added on is that the clouds move from one place to another. And I'm not sure whether it works logically, but I was thinking that, you know, the the it might not work because the lakes and rivers and the reservoirs, they're not as big as the sea, so maybe it doesn't evaporate. But my thinking is uh the it evaporates from not only the sea, but it evaporates from the rivers and the reservoirs. And then so the condensation rises from the reservoir in America, then the condensation hits the cloud in America, and then that cloud moves over to Britain, and then that cloud then rains the water from the reservoir from America into the British reservoirs, and then we drink from that reservoir, and then that water connects us all together. Um, so yeah, so that's how I was thinking how water eventually like all water on the planet mixes, and that creates a connection between every person on the planet. So the next thing, playing on um, the water system thing, and then me saying about how like all water is eventually the same. Like one of the things that like the water's the thing that divides us, but in the end, water will be the thing that brings us all back together. And the thing that I missed earlier is like a high percentage, I can never remember the percentage, like 70, 80 of very high percentage of the body and the blood consists of water. So even though the blood might be different, because the blood is a liquid, water exists within all liquid or most liquid. So water, even though our blood is different, the water is still the same. Even if we have different blood, um, the water is still water. And water, I had to look this up and to check that water does actually get absorbed in through the intestines. So the water you drink does go back into your body and replenishes the water you lose from from your sweat, from your urination. Um, so like the water we drink does literally become a part of our body, so that connects us all. Now, when it comes to water is the thing that divides us, and in the end, water brings us back together. I went into how, if you take the water away from the oceans, you will see that all countries are actually connected. So countries, like I like to say, is that countries are nothing more than a mere illusion. Okay, let me say it again. Countries are nothing more than a mere illusion, a figment of your imagination. So all countries around the world are basically just social constructs supported by the sea separating the land and making you think all the bits of land are different. But the thing is that planet Earth is planet Earth. Whether you live in Britain, whether you live in America, whether you live in Africa, Nigeria, China, Japan, Korea, North Korea, South Korea, Jamaica, it doesn't matter where you come from, it's all planet Earth. We're all the human species, we're all Earthlings. And one of the things I like to say is Mother Nature is mother to us all. Planet Earth provides us with all the resources, that we need to live. It gives us the vegetation, the plant life, the fruits, the vegetables to eat. It gives us the meat for us to eat. It gives us the water for us to drink. It gives us Mother Earth gives us, um, the resources to build stuff and to create things. Science and physics gives us electricity, and stuff like that. Um, we're not only connected through the water, we're also connected through the planet. We're all connected through Mother Earth. So even though we might have different birth mothers and fathers, we still all have the same Earth Mother. So Mother Nature is mother to us all. So we all have the same Earth Mother. So therefore, we're all technically related, no matter what your skin color, no matter what your ethnicity, or your height, or your hair color, or your eye color. We are all connected, not just through water, but also connected through the planet as well. Water is the thing that divides us. Water will be the thing that brings us all back together. And when we all realize that all water is the same. Countries are mere illusion, the figment of your imagination. All countries are part of the same thing, planet Earth. And Mother Nature is mother to us all. So we all have water connects us, and Mother Nature connects us. And obviously, these are things that are inspired by other people's works, other people's theories, and some things like that. You can tell by some of this stuff might sound familiar. Your ability to create ideas comes from everything that you've learned. So if you knew absolutely nothing, your ability to create ideas would be completely absent. That's something I just made up and figured out by watching TV programs. Even though the stuff that you hear on TV a lot of it might be fictional and made up, they actually come from actual information within people's brains that people accumulate through the use of their senses. So through empiricism. Yeah, empiricism. Empiricism is that all knowledge is accumulated through the senses. So I think one of the things I need to cover up the gaps of logic. Sorry, I have to drink there. And to cover up the assumptions that people make. So people might say, "Oh, you just want to create one government world if you're saying that countries are mere illusion." No, like that's either or fallacy. You don't do. It's not either. It's not a matter of either it's this or it's that. It's both. We need to recognize that countries are an illusion, a figment of imagination, a social construct that isn't actually real. It's only real because we believe it's real. It's only real because we made it real. But the thing is it doesn't make logical sense. So to entertain having one world government, no. And then what I just thought as well is the more governments you have, the less likely it is to have like a singular, like corrupt global movement. So you need to have. That's a reason why you need to have countries. But the main reason why we need to have countries is because the world is too big for one kingdom, one country, one government to rule. So entertaining the idea of a one world government is completely illogical. And we need to recognize that countries are an illusion. And we also need to recognize that countries are important and we need countries because the world is too big for one government to rule. And, I usually say that, it makes it so that the populace of planet Earth is easier to manage because if you have one government trying to manage the entirety of the human race, it's going to be too much for that one kingdom, one government to take care of and to provide for and stuff like that. So you need the world's and it's kind of like by luck or by chance that all the countries are divided to make the populace of the world more manageable. So like each individual country, it's better, and so that they can manage like each segment of the planet divided up into different parts. So it makes the country more, makes the planet more manageable, and the populace of the planet more manageable when you cut the countries, when you cut the planet and the land into countries, because yeah. It's can't think of how to explain that. Um, it just makes sense that one government couldn't possibly take care of the entirety of the human species, so you have to segment it into different countries to make the populace easier to manage and easier to take care of. So yeah, so those are some of my craziest philosophies I can think of that I've created, and it's all with the purpose of connecting us together because we need to get past this like individuality thing. We need to get on board with collectivism and stop listening to the elites telling us we need to become more independent, where we need to have more cooperation with each other to solve common problems. Um, because we need that age of cooperation where every country works together equally to solve common problems. So so yeah. So philosophy, these types of philosophies bringing humanity together are actually more important, especially when countries now down to the disastrous singular decision. All of the countries around the world now are trying to go in this isolated direction. Because even though you need countries, we also need to cooperate with all countries around the world in order to work together. And without working together, we wouldn't have trade, and without trade, our countries will suffer. So we need to. It's like a contradictory balancing type thing where we need to have um, separation and togetherness at the same time. So this whole individualism or collectivism, it's a fallacy. It's either or fallacy. You don't do one or the other. You do both. You do both individualism when you can and collectivism when it comes to problem solving. Because there's global problems that require global solutions, like immigration, for instance, probably one of the biggest problems that we face in the world, which is because of global corruption, global strife, and global poverty. But anyway, so those are my philosophies that are wacky. And remember, countries are nothing more than a mere illusion, a figment of your imagination.